This episode of What They Won't Say may contain language offensive to others. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Yeah, so we did.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to episode 2 of What They Won't Say.
Stop being so loud. Alright, it's good.
All right, why you screaming at us? Well, how y'all doing? It's me, just Kevin. Y'all clearly heard Courtney and Annette over there. Unconscious atmosphere, how you doing, bro?
I'm good, UA holding it down. Just what we do.
Yeah. So, episode 1 went down, came out.
Yes.
Y'all let us know how you felt about it. Some great, some good, nothing too bad. But
Everything we can improve on.
absolutely.
Always.
But
Let's talk to him.
let's just go ahead and kick it in topic number 2. And not even gonna lie, won't my favorite topic, but where we're gonna take this, I kind of like it. Miss Amber and her Oscar-winning performance that resulted in the Academy deciding to give her affection. So the question arises in a few ways, actually. But I guess the biggest way is, as Black people, we have this notion, or at least some of us have this notion, that if we stop being loud or fighting and cussing and turn the other cheek, that our European counterparts will treat us any different. So, it's Brian, right? That's dude's name I got.
Wasn't it like Brotham?
But Amber decided to, or not decided, the judge in the case, as well as the victim's brother, decided to show some physical affection
And the
after
guard.
the case, and the guard. And the question says, do Black people have to, in order to, the whole forgive and forget thing, as human beings, that's probably a, not necessarily forget, but forgive for your own personal reasons and your own personal sanity. But do we have to be so affectionate when it comes to those forgiving moments?
And his name was Botham Jr.
Botham, that's what it was.
So to give any of our listeners or viewers background on what we're talking about, if you haven't heard about the case, if
Shame
you've
on
been
you.
asleep under a rock, 2018, a white police officer just getting off duty walked into an apartment that she allegedly presumed was hers and shot and killed an African-American man. Her trial was just this past week and she got sentenced to 10 years. So that is the case that we're talking about.
Was it 10?
It was 10 years,
It was-
but I think she's eligible for parole in 5.
Yeah, she got,
Was it really?
yeah, it was 10 years, bro.
She got 10 years.
Golly, I don't know why I kept hearing 20.
So at the end of the trial, the victim's brother comes up to her. He gives this long speech about how he didn't want to say what he was about to say in front of his family, but he felt like his brother, who grew up and participated in the church, would want better for her. And in doing so, he actually said that he didn't want her to go to jail. And at the end, he got up and he hugged her. Not only that, but while she was crying, the bailiff in the case came behind her and was like rubbing her hair. She was also African American. And then the judge, who was also African American, came down off the stand at the end of trial after the sentencing hearing and hugged her. So the question posed is, as African American people, why do we feel the need to be so visual when showing that we forgive someone? Why can't we just forgive them and not touch them? Like, why do we have to show, oh, I'm not upset, let me hug you?
Well, we had a leader once, Dr. Martin Luther King, who believed in us, like, turning the other cheek and loving our neighbor and stuff like that. I believe that people take from people like that, not even just, well, if we're just talking about Black people, we're going to talk about Dr. Martin Luther King in this case. We want to be able to show that, not only say that we're not as bad as people portray us to be already, but we also want to show it. This was really hard to see happen. I will say this is like one of the hardest things for me to watch because of what happened, but people were actually forgiving and giving hugs. That was just weird to me. So I'm guessing that the reason is, once again, is just to show that we're not as bad as we are portrayed to be, even in situations like this. I'm about to get walked on.
That portrays the question: why are we perceived as bad, like as a bad whole? Why do people consider us as the angry black people?
What's this, 2019?
This is.
America was officially founded in what, 1776?
Yeah, something like that.
That's like how many years, give or take? Almost 300.
300.
Of the existence of what we know this actual physical nation to be. And in that, we can have the conversation of whether we were already here, did they bring us all on boats, what happened, that is for a different day, and I'm sure we'll have that conversation. But the question was why we perceived as the bad guy, because like with any other campaign, and this one just happened to be a smear campaign, it takes time, and it takes discipline, and it also takes knowing your opponent. People always say we're in, quote unquote, a war, and when it comes to race relations, and the idea of that is, whether it's a war, it's definitely a conflict. And since the beginning of us, even us as slaves, like when slavery ended, it was the 3/8 compromise, and we're literally 3/8 of a person, and that's how they got it to where our male population could vote, but the vote only counted a third of what a vote would count. And then we go through civil rights and all that jazz, and okay, now we have our full voting rights, but we're still at a point where, look at them, we gave them, and this is how they said, we gave them this, and now we give them books, but they don't talk about the schools that they gave them are fucking half a fucking mile from any civilization, and another 10 miles from their damn houses. Books are run down and everything else. So yeah, you give them things, but you give them things in situations they can't win. So you create that amongst an entire generation. We're talking the 60s now. Like, my grandmother was born in 48. Like, that's still the best person in my life today. So that generation raised the generation that raised our parents, who now raised the generation is us. And like I said, that's the best person I know in my life, because that's who raised me. That's where my values came from. I'm just lucky enough that the person that gave me my values didn't hate anybody. And there's a whole another side, like I said, of our European counterparts. Nah, it ain't all y'all, so don't get your shit in a bunch. But but at some point, yeah, you reap the benefits of the rest of that bullshit. So it is what it is. Again, I love you, but it is what it is. But like I said, that person instilled my values in me, and it goes through me from head to toe. And every decision that I make, somehow, one way or another, directly or indirectly, it goes back to the person she is and the person she taught me to be. And that generation, on the same flip side, those people that gave her hell and gave my mom hell and still give me hell today, they came from the same fucking bloodline. They have the same teachings. Somebody asked me today, can racism ever end? No, we would have to extinct the entire human race, because you got to scratch an entire nation's way of thinking. You have to scratch that whole nation. Fucking America is so racist that when you protest racism, it sounds like you're protesting America. Like it's crazy that that's the truth, but it's the absolute truth. How do you get beyond that? I don't know. Why do black people have to be so nice in order to live in this America? Or it's not even about being nice, because there's not a person that can tell me they ain't came across, at the very least, an old black lady that done fed them and made them feel like mama. But regardless, they're gonna walk away from that and then they're gonna see me walking down the street like, man, I look like a badass dude. And the flip side of that, I ain't thinking about nothing but I gotta go home and cook for some motherfuckers. Like, like that's it. But the smear campaign already happened, and it's happened. Our entire generation, our parents, their parents, so forth and so on. The entire existence of this country has painted us in one light. Yeah, we have spent the last, in all honesty, really like the last 50 or 60 years trying to change what that image looks like. But we're still in the discussion of fighting ourselves. Like right now, there are some of us that agree with what his family did, and that it's cool. And I'm not gonna say it's necessarily cool, but when I saw it, like Malik said, it was one of those hard things to look at. For me, I was like, it is what it is. That's how you feel. I used to tell Caden every morning, be nice to everybody regardless of how they treat you. And he said, what if they're mean to me? I said, yeah, that's gonna suck, and don't let people walk all over you. But you get to decide who you are and not the rest of the world. The rest of the world is gonna tell you every day who you're supposed to be, whether it be through as a man, as a son, as a father, as a black man. They will tell you who you're supposed to be. You get to decide that, not them.
So here's my thing with the case itself. I feel like, honestly, I feel grateful that she got some time. And I'm gonna just be real, because we've had
You feel
cases.
grateful?
Yes, because we have cases with the Casey Anthonys and the George Zimmermans and all the countless police officers before who have gotten away with killing black men and have gotten no time, still have their
I got
jobs.
a serious question for you. For you.
Mm-hmm.
And I posed this question to my wife the other day. Now, the amount of people that have gotten off as far as killing unarmed black citizens, every last one of them has been what?
The officer or
Yeah, the officer.
Most of them have been white
White what?
men.
And the first time someone catches somewhat of a bullet, what are they?
Black men.
No,
Well, black
they actually got in trouble. Someone that actually got in trouble, what are they? They're a woman. They're still white, but they're a woman. And the question is, like at some point, did they look at this picture and go, they're not gonna cease and desist. So we need a lamb. There is not this at one point, like we go back to the beginning of this nation. At one point, the only people in this nation that could vote were white male landowners. And so through the existence of us, that's who got the juice. That's who's walking around with the sauce in this country. So the idea of them conceding anything, especially something like this, we've all have our theories on who the police are and what they've evolved from. And so the idea of them conceding that was never gonna happen. But they had to satisfy us in some kind of way. Is that what they just did? Or at least tried to do? And did they try and kill two birds with one stone, in that they threw a woman under the bus and she was white?
Well, at this point, I'm not even gonna say like that could very well be true.
Mm-hmm.
It could be that they threw this one particular person under the bus and was like, all right, that should coddle you guys for the next however many times it happens.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I say that, I mean, call a spade a spade. It is what it is. Because at the end of the day, this is not going to be the last time. I hate to say it. All I could do is hope that it's not my son that's next. So at this point, yes, I am grateful that she got some time. The problem that I have is your mom is on these news reports calling this lady a monster. You get up and hug her. I don't care who you are. I have a brother. If somebody went out there and shot him tomorrow, ain't no way in hell I'm going up to him at trial and I'm hugging him. It's no way, like, I can't see it in myself. I can't even see myself forgiving them, much less putting my hands on them. And if I do put my hands on them, it's going to be to hurt them.
You forgive him?
Oh boy. I can't say. I could say I forgive. I could definitely say I can forgive.
Are you openly forgiving? Like,
No,
not necessarily.
I'm not dapping nobody up, giving no hugs. I'll be the first one to say
Not
that.
even that, but are you like on some like in person, or would it be like years down the road you send them a letter in the mail, like, or it might not even be you saying anything to them. It's just one day you decide for yourself you letting it go. Like, what route you go?
Nah, it's gonna take some time. It's gonna take more than what it's only been a year and some change. It's gonna take more than that.
It's only been a year and some change since
it
it
happened.
happened.
The trial was like this past week. Like it
That's what I'm
brings
saying.
all of that.
Like it's a year and some change since it happened. My thing is that I'm not gonna like if you look at the circumstances of the case, like everything that happened, like this chick walked into his apartment and thought he was an intruder and killed him
for sitting and watching TV
sitting
in his
there.
house.
How do you make that kind of mistake?
By just being exhausted.
And I understand I work at night and I understand being exhausted. I have never, ever, I've seen people fall asleep at the wheel. I've seen people did this, that, and the third. But I know where I live. I don't care what the number difference is. I know where I live. I know the second I walk into that house and I look around like, whoa.
Man, I was pitch drunk. I was getting ready to move to Virginia. Right before I moved to Virginia, I had to go on a away party. And I'm talking pitch drunk because somebody told me they was gonna drive me home, and then they wound up getting too drunk. And I'm like, you ain't driving my fucking car.
Yeah.
So I was like, I gotta work in the morning. I was right around the corner from the job. I was like, I'm gonna just go to sleep in the car.
Right.
Fuck it.
Really?
And one of the dudes I had just met at the bar that night, real cool dude. Damn, shout out. Damn, my man Jay Black. Shout out to Jay Black. Shout out to Jay Black. And yes, his name is Jay Black, and he happens to be a black dude named Jay. But my man, he was leaving the bar and he walked past the car and he was like, man, I can't let my man sleep in the car. He knocked on the window like, hey man, such and such says she'll follow me, and if you could figure out how to get yourself home, if you could direct me to your house. I was like, if you could drive, I can get you there. I'm looking at him like this with one fucking eye. And I got my man from goddamn Wake Forest to Nightdale at like 2 in the morning. And I didn't walk in anybody's house. I didn't pick out the wrong key. I didn't even invite this nigga in my house because there was no need for that to happen. So the idea of you accidentally walking into somebody else's apartment, I'm sorry, I call bullshit. I honestly believe, like at some point, because I ain't always believed that my neighbors have liked me either. And because we done all live next to somebody that you done heard them mumbling under their breath, or they vacuum at the wrong time of day on purpose consistently. Ooh. Or every time you have a little friend over or a little get together, they want to make extra noise, bang on the wall, look at you ugly. You might get a notice the next morning on some bullshit, whatever it may be. We've all had asshole type neighbors. And I honestly believe that a lot of people, when it comes to positions of authority and power that are minimal in this country, when you can express those nuances of the human personality, you do. And one day, she might have just been like, man, this nigga has been getting on my nerves. And walked in this man's apartment and said, you know what? It is what it is. Today is the day. Because what has history in America taught us? She gonna get away with it. She gonna get away with it. Now maybe she ain't wake up that morning with cold-blooded murder on her mind. Maybe she pulled in and this man done parked in her parking space. And this was the last straw. We done all been in some type of situation that when you look back on it, it's like, man, I was probably bugging that day. I got angry for no reason.
But the difference is we don't have that same luxury. As a people, had the roles been reversed and it had been a white man and a black cop, that black cop is done. He's done. Paid without leave until the trial.
You know what?
So what's the answer?
Hold on, wait. Let me say something. First of all, no, I'm not gonna sit there and forgive. But my dad says this every time. My dad goes to McDonald's 5 o'clock in the morning, or he's there by like 6 in the morning.
Why is your dad up at 5 o'clock?
Cause that's my dad is 70. How old am I? 30. My dad is 72 years old. That's what he do. They get up. They solve the world's problems. That's what he do. Yeah, my dad was born a year after your grandma, or the year before.
Jeez.
So,
yeah,
my dad gets up and he says this every time, and it blows my mind because I've never thought of it. How many shootings of white people have you seen a black cop do?
None that I can remember.
Thank you. And it blows my mind because we can never see what the shoe would be like on the other foot. I don't know if we're wired to think, what if this person was black, or if we're wired to think like,
partially, I believe so.
or really be worried about what the judicial system is going to have in store for us.
No, I call bullshit.
Why?
Because same week, black man shoots a police dog, gets 45 years.
But that's a police dog versus a black man.
I'm gonna just say.
So the laws are equal?
No, it makes
the way that white people feel about their fucking dogs, you would think so. Like, God,
no,
damn. And I love dogs, B. Don't get it twisted. I love dogs. But the way that white people feel about their dogs, man, you would think that somewhere in the Constitution it says niggas and four-legged creatures, y'all the same.
Let me say that. Now let me say this. Let me say this. Because working in law enforcement, that dude might as well have been a cop killer. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
When I tell you we had retirement ceremonies for dogs. Like, this dog was gonna be put down. And we had the whole crew came in, we sat down, we talked about the dog, all of its accomplishments, all the things that it did. We ran or put a
The
fake
fuck
bomb.
you mean
I
accomplishment?
mean, Miss, hold up. That
The
all
dog.
sounds fine and dandy, and it sounds super cute, and it's awesome. And even if that was a person, that's great. But how does your job make you a more important person than any other person that just got shot?
That's the word. That's the problem with
Just your
anybody.
job.
I can sit up here and say I am Malik Morris. Okay,
That is who you are.
that's one thing. That's who I am.
Mhm.
Let me say I am Senior Airman Malik Morris. What does that put me?
I mean, and
It gives you more.
Right. Let me say that I'm Officer Malik Morris. It changes everything.
to my ears.
Right to your ears.
But still, I still have to call bullshit. Because look back at Mike Vick. Mike Vick got accused of fighting dogs that he wasn't even fighting. He let some niggas stay in his house and was fighting dogs. And how much time did he get sentenced with?
I mean, he was benefiting.
How
from
many
that.
did he?
He might have been benefiting, but at the end of the
And
day,
he was
I bet you
supplying
he got sentenced. The point is, he got sentenced to about, if not a large portion of, what this same female got sentenced with for taking a life, a human life.
Yeah.
And they weren't police dogs.
Man, you just heard what I said, man. Niggas and four-legged creatures.
But it doesn't actually say that in the Constitution.
I've actually been to DC and read the physical.
And it said
copy.
niggas and
I said I've never,
Oh.
I've never read the physical copy. So
I was like, wait. We gotta take a
if
trip.
I ain't seen it, I don't know.
We
Like,
got
man, y'all
something
see,
to
WTWS
y'all see
knows
what's some
Washington.
shit with Nicolas Cage, the National Treasure movies, hidden messages in that shit. It might say somewhere niggas and four-legged creatures.
Well, when Nicolas Cage come out with a movie that tell me that my life is equal to a four-legged creature's, then I believe it.
But
When
I'm
y'all
not,
do, I want my credit.
but I'm not being funny, but anybody who kills a cop is like lower than the scum of the earth in the law enforcement eyes.
But in prison, he's a hero.
Exactly. So
But
it's like,
even me, I'm not even a full-fledged sworn officer. But I have a lot of black friends. I have a lot of white friends who are law enforcement. So if I see one of them die for like just doing their job, you wake up, even going, I work at the damn jail.
Mm.
You know that I could wake up any day, get into some shit, and not come back home.
mm-hmm.
And that's just in jail. I still get in my feelings when I hear about things happening. And for example, what's the guy who the one who just passed away? Here. He passed away in Raleigh, and everybody made a big deal out of it when the dogs came after him and all that stuff. And y'all know what I'm talking about? Hinton. Something Hinton. Karan Hinton, I think that's his name. That was his name. Dude been in jail multiple times. the public made it seem like he was just the face of Raleigh. He was the face of corruption with the police and this, that, and the third. For those of us who know him, what? No. This dude been in jail multiple times for this, that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. No, not even gonna get into it. I can't get too deep into it. I can't say. Back to what I was saying. It's titles suck on people. Like, it sucks to put a title on somebody. But, like, for example, that dude who killed the dog, like I said, he might as well have been a cop killer. To cops. He might as well have been a cop.
And I just want y'all to know, I don't hate anything about law enforcement.
At all.
That's
not what this is
my
about.
degree is in criminal justice. Like, I just happen to be a chef. Like,
Yeah.
like fucking my junior year, professor asked me, like, what are you gonna be? Like a cooking cop? And I wanted to punch him in his fucking face because that shit was God, like, and everybody around me, because I'm not one of those people that I can immediately swallow the emotion on my face. Like, I can swallow it everywhere else, but here, you're gonna find it. You're gonna find it. And he was like, nah, I don't. I just, at this point, I'm in it, kind of want to finish it, but man, I want to beat his ass that day. Back to black people being violent, right?
Yeah. Now, let me go.
You better go hug him.
About black people being violent. Let me get back into that. About black people being violent. You know how when you at work and you do this, that, and third, like you could cook the best, you can go in and get better by.
Hold up. Before he even say this miraculous thing, I do this every day.
Right. You can cook something and get it recognized by Gordon Ramsay.
Pretty much.
And be like, yo. He'd be like, this is absolutely the greatest thing I've ever had.
This water is so wet.
Exactly. We could go to our jobs and do the greatest thing ever. And be like, yeah, people like, oh, okay. You can go to your job and do the same thing and do the worst thing possible. That's what you'll be remembered for.
Yeah.
You will never be remembered for the greatest things you do. So what I'm saying is that our European counterparts, as you were saying, they could see lawyers and doctors and a whole entire president and see the accomplishments of black people. But it only takes one trip. You want to
call bullshit to me?
To Southeast Raleigh. Don't do that to me. It only takes one trip to Southeast Raleigh. And this is that's what we see. We're seeing as thugs and hoods and then, gangster rappers and this, that, and the third.
Tap your hands for me.
Go. Come on.
I call bullshit.
Let's go.
Because when we talk about our fucking European counterparts, we are standing on fucking stolen land. Like we are standing on stolen land. The U.S. government is the biggest gangster organization in the world. These motherfuckers can take your money straight from your paycheck and use it for nothing and then tell you kiss my ass, suck my dick, so what? Like their entire existence has been terrorizing or tormenting another people on their own land. They stole America. Let's just say that's not the case anymore. Let's just say they found it. They didn't steal it, they found it. There happen to be some people here that they told, hey man, you gotta go. Don't care how you get out of here, but you gotta go that way and only that way. If you die along the way, it is what it is. Fast forward a little bit more, hey man, we need some more people because we don't want to do all this fucking work. And we need to also find other ways to make income. So let's go get some more people that we're going to tell what to do. And then we're going to build this nation on their backs. And when it comes time to own up to said responsibility, we're going to be like, nah, y'all were the bad guys. We tried to help you. Fuck you, heathens. Move on. All right, fast forward. We 1940s, World War II, melting pot of America. Damn, oh man, Japanese going crazy. Let's freak out. We're going to take a whole side of the goddamn nation and stick them behind cages, i.e. 2019 with children. And we're going to still call them American citizens, but they're in open fucking internment camps during wartime. And those will say, hey, their home nation did this and that, but at some point you let them in, you got to live with the consequences of being the country that you decided to be. These are the same people that will paint the pictures of those people were Japanese and they were part of the enemy. The people before them were nothing but lazy, big lip, big nose savages that we pulled out the woods, and the people before them didn't know how to properly cultivate the land that they already had for how many umpteen years before we came over here and disturbed their peace. So don't give me that bullshit that at some point, like our European counterparts only remember our bad. Because if we want to only remember their bad, man, we could. This isn't gonna happen, so don't nobody come on my ass. But we could burn this fucking country to the ground. Somebody said, America better be happy that black people aren't as angry as they believe we are. Because if we were, this shit would be a whole different story. That's why it goes to the fact of our forgiveness, I believe, is always on display. Because like I said, if we wanted to, man, we could burn this bitch to the ground and build it back up in 2 weeks because that's who we are. But the fact that they only believe what we have done wrong, no, they only believe what they have created. Like they created this story first. Our story that most of us know isn't even our real story. We can't all even agree on our origin story. Like that's always the biggest disruption in black people. It's like were we born here? Was this like Pangea when it spread? That we just happened to be the original Native Americans? Was it they did bring us from Africa? Nobody can absolutely tell.
To your coworker, you came from Africa. You're lying.
I came straight.
Did you come
from the motherland? Of course.
Guadalupe said you came from Africa.
Actually, and shout out because I know she ain't gonna hear this. It was Olga. Her name is Olga.
Did you come from Africa or did you?
See, but that's kind of my point. It's like at that point, yeah, I am loud, and when I am passionate, I am demonstrative. But at some point, even those words say something about who the fuck I am. But at some point, the picture has already been painted, whether you are from here or not. So how many people have you met from other nations or wherever, just even not from New York or whatever, they already have a notion of who you are because of some picture that has been painted somewhere else. And you're like, man, I ain't never lived half the fucking life of what you just described. But that's what they believe you are. And it's like, you can't change people's truth no matter how much you do. So as black people, I honestly believe that his family felt how they felt, and those outward showings of affection, like that was real. There are those that question whether it was for TV or what it may be. I honestly believe it was real. If it was me,
believe it was real.
I'm not a hugger, but I get it. That's why I asked you, how do you forgive? Because for me, it's like if I'm gonna forgive you, then I'm gonna forgive you, and I'm moving on, man. I'm not holding on to that shit.
It's
like,
funny
I'm just not.
I was thinking about something because people always sit up there and say, I couldn't do this, that, and third. And I realized when I was saying it, like, I don't know what I would do until I was in that moment.
True.
I never know, because people always talk about, if this person does this to me, well, I couldn't be this person, this, that, and third. And I've done it multiple times until it happened to me. Let me give y'all an example because it's really funny. Where I work, we talk about it all the time, blah, blah, blah. I was in there, people do this, that, and third, fighting, all that stuff all the time. So one day, this guy comes in, a regular, comes through, go ahead. It ain't gonna mess up too much. It's not even, there you go. Look, I'm calling you out because we're talking about it. Hey, speaking of which, Karen just walked off.
Damn sure did.
Y'all about to call out my
feedback?
Karen
just walked off.
Y'all gonna call out my feedback.
And you pouring yourself a drink.
Sure am.
You know why? Because we don't have nobody do that for us.
We broke, y'all. If anybody trying to sign up to be a waiter for our podcast,
please let us know.
What kind of bullshit is that? I can't walk off camera in my own home, by the way.
Oh, this is his house. So
this is my house.
Hey, apparently you can't even watch TV in your own house. So how dare you get up and walk off camera?
I can watch TV in my own
That's
house.
how a boy got shot.
Oh yeah, this is
Oh,
true. This is true.
dang! Did you full circle? Don't do that.
Hey,
Wait,
it's
wait,
an art. It's an art to
let
this
me
shit.
let me finish my point. Y'all terrible. Stop that.
Finish your point.
But I was talking about you don't know what you're gonna do till you in that point. Like I said, dude came in, he was a regular second third. He came up, he stepped up where he wasn't supposed to be. He walked off. Let me ask y'all a question before I get into my thing. Somebody come to you and spit in your face. What you gonna do?
Somebody
Smack
what?
the dog shit out of them.
What you gonna do?
Smack
Hold on,
Let me ask. Let me ask
You
first.
said somebody told me?
No, somebody
No,
walked
they
up to
spit
you
up to
and
you.
spit in your face. What you gonna do?
Man, I gotta answer that question.
Huh?
I gotta answer that.
It ain't gonna
Okay.
be human shit.
Alright,
It's
you
gonna
don't-
be
you don't-
dog
you don't have to-
shit.
you
It's
don't have
gonna
to
be
answer that
dog.
question. Cool.
Dog
In the
shit.
words
let
of
me-
my man Buddy Mac, it's gonna be some furniture moving in this
Alright, so let me
motherfucker.
tell y'all what happened. This dude came up, right? Now looking at this dude, like I said, when he spit in my face, it was like a cone of spit came out. I was like, and it was the weirdest thing I had ever seen in my life. But a cone. Like, you know when you spray a can? You know you spray some aerosol spray, the cone
like
come
an
out.
hour, like when you see that
This
diagram
man
in your
sprayed a cone of spit at me.
exponential
And I stopped. I didn't move for like a second. And all I can do is process the fact that this man might have every disease known to man.
You thought?
So instead of stealing off on him, the only thing I could think about was getting clean. I could not. Nothing in me wanted to hit this dude. The only thing I could think of was like, yo, I need to schedule my next doctor's appointment.
Have y'all seen that
Wow.
episode of Flavor of Love when Pumpkin spit in New York's face?
pretty much
That's-
in my mouth.
You would not have been able.
No.
I don't give a. At this
No.
point, it's already on me. Fuck that. He is getting these hands.
That's
No.
true, but I'm sure this story has a point.
You got that. That's my
Yes,
point.
yes.
My point is in that moment. Like I said, everybody sat back, probably shook their head, was like, no, it shouldn't have been me. No, it wasn't me. No, I couldn't do it. No, you can't sit up there and say like, this man might have been feeling everything she was saying. I'm not gonna sit up there and say it was bullshit. I'm not gonna sit up there and say it was truth. At that moment, whatever he was feeling, he felt like, yo, I need to forgive her to be able to move on with my own life.
But the question is, which I don't think any of us have ever have answered yet.
Mhm.
But the question is,
I've
why
not answered.
feel the need to do it in such a public
Because we all forgive differently.
display?
The reasons behind doing things at some point fulfill the person we are inside. Like, it's like regardless of what the emotion is that is given upon us, the reciprocation of that has to come out how it comes out for us. Like love. We're gonna get into that topic in a future episode, or relationships, or what that matter. But people so often find themselves loving how they want to be loved. They show it how they want it to be shown. They give it to you how they want it to be given to you. And when it's not received that way or given back that, reciprocated that way, they're like, hold up, motherfucker, you want some other shit. And on the flip side of that, they're not seeing that this is how I give love. This is how I see love. This is how I receive love. And the way you're showing it might be how I receive hate or envy or whatever it may be. The fact of the matter is, how you perceive emotion is never going to be how I perceive emotion. We all like to believe we have this clear-cut blanket of what happy, mad, sad, all these emotions are, when it's like, that means we have a clear-cut blanket of what the human personality is, of what human behavior always is, of what human beings are going to be. If we can do that, then that means from the point of birth, I can absolutely turn you into the next Barack, if that's what I wanted to do. But we know that's not possible, because human emotion plays on, and how it's going to be displayed plays on so many other factors. So my man saw something and said, this is what I need to do right now. I'm never going to get this opportunity again, because at some point, even if it's tomorrow, the next year, or 10 minutes from now, I'm probably not going to feel this way and this empowered to absolutely forgive this woman.
I can
And
agree
no,
with that.
I'm not a religious person, but when it comes to religion, a lot of that says something along the lines of forgiveness and turning the other cheek and being the bigger person. And at some point, do we not, whether it be black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever it may be, damn, do we not have to decide that, hey, man, somebody got to take the step? Why does it have to be black people? Because, God damn it, we are that. Like, it is what it is. We are, like, we want to sit here and say we are the kings and queens of this nation and this rock that is earth, and I absolutely believe that. If that's the case, then God damn it, we got to start acting like it.
Hashtag black men.
Like at some point, it ain't start acting like that. We got to continue acting like it across the board. No, it ain't about always hugging people that have murdered your family.
Right.
No, but it's about deciding who you're gonna be and standing in that. Even when those that look like you tell you, hey man, you weren't supposed to be doing that. When you know in your heart of hearts, that's who you are as a person. And when my son asked me one night, what does it mean to be black? That was the only thing I could tell him. Everybody's gonna tell you what the fuck that's supposed to mean. The only thing I can tell you is that at some point it's pride in who you are and standing in that pride. That is it. That is and ultimately that's what my man did. He said, I want to forgive this woman. Nah, my mom probably not gonna like it. We know the black community not gonna like it. But for me, I gotta like it. And that's why we make any decision that we ever make. It's because at night I gotta look at myself in the mirror before I lay my head on that pillow. So if hugging her and doing all that is what him and his family needed to do, and the judge, I don't even know why the officers of the court were involved, but quite frankly, they don't mean shit to me in this because they didn't make the decision. A jury of his peers did, and yeah, I use air quotes, but a jury of his peers made that decision, and it is what it is. But his family, his brother decided, hey man, this is the opportunity that I'm going to take, and I'm going to do this for me as a black man, as a person, as this man's brother, as a human being, as a part of the human race. This is how I'm deciding to go about this. I don't, like I said, I'm not a hugger, so I don't agree with that form of it. But the idea of him having to publicly display his forgiveness, I personally, I understand that. Like, it's like, that's how you give off that form of emotion. That's how you got to give it. I know enough about being misread and misinterpreted to say, hey man, do what you do and feel how you feel to get across what you need to get across.
So UA, what are your final thoughts about this case?
Okay, so wait, let me for like a quick second. Let me simplify what Kev said real quick. You know when people say, yo, okay, he forgave her. But did he forgive her? I think the hugs solidified that. Simple as that. Yeah, I'm glad the lady got time. Yeah, maybe she was a scapegoat because we have seen so much injustice in the black community. And we're tired of it. Unfortunately, I had to use a white woman for that, but hey, you know, it is what it is. I'm not gonna sit up here and say I'm completely satisfied with the case. It's crazy. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not completely satisfied, but I'm glad something happened. And I'm more so proud of that black man who's able to sit there and hug the murderer of his brother and forgive her the way he did. I don't care if he had a different mindset or anything like that. I'm proud of him.
And quite frankly, I don't even know if my man was on some old, he could have been hugging her real close, got real close, like, bitch, you gonna die. I don't know, but, you know.
So, I think what we all take away from this, honestly, is I really hate that it had to be some I don't want to say it was some black versus white stuff, because at the end of the day, the only difference is we don't get to see the colored on colored crime or the white on white crime as the same that we do with white versus black, and it sucks because I feel like we should all be exposed. I said colored on colored crime because we've been talking about history this whole podcast, so I'm using some throwback words.
Rollback.
But I feel like,
for those of y'all who watch Blackish,
I hate that it came down to the focus of black versus black or white versus black or whatever this came out to. I am happy that she got time. For me and my family, if I had showed that part of my emotion, my mama would have called me out in front of the whole in courtroom, like, bitch, why? Why did you have to hug her? Like, but
Yeah.
that's just me and my family. Like, my mama wouldn't have had that. I'm proud of him as a man for accepting her apology and feeling it was heartfelt. I feel like that is something that us as a black community needed to see, because we are quick to hold grudges and slow to forgive. So I feel like it was something that we needed to see as a people. However, I'm not going to say comma, so calm down. I also feel like
Get him.
the type of forgiveness that we show on a day-to-day basis should just, like, I should just be able to say, I forgive you, and you take that. I don't feel like I should have to go down and show you any type of emotion, because at the end of the day, you still did what you did, and me forgiving you and hugging you is not going to bring my brother back.
Yeesh. Ooh.
True that.
Or my son, or my uncle, or my cousin.
We get it.
Nothing.
Wait, let me make a funny.
Niggas get shot every day.
Let me make a funny, because we were talking about Blackish, and it was really funny to say that. She's talking about the word color. If y'all haven't seen it, you know what I'm talking about? It's like, I want to bring the word color back. Woo woo! Woo woo! Put that gun out, put it on the
like, go ahead, Charlie, looking at him like, lips. Like, I will pop one. I think I was watching it on my phone.
I laughed so hard.
This is color. But
So,
either way, go ahead.
no, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No,
Because what I was going to say was just going to finish it out.
Go ahead, finish it out. Go ahead.
So, we definitely want to hear back what you think. While we're talking about feedback, we also want to thank those of you who over the past week have seen episode 1. Y'all are the real MVP.
Yo, I got too many people to shout out, but Travis, you know you are. I'm just gonna say Travis, Josh, yo, appreciate it. Mickey G, you know what? It's too many of y'all.
Right.
So we appreciate
Shout out
everyone.
to Bestie,
My dad.
shout out to White
My
Kid,
dad.
shout out to Sister, shout
My
out to
wife,
Angel,
my dad. Oh,
shout
yeah.
out to Alicia,
Yeah.
shout out to all of y'all.
Everybody that has listened to episode 1, thank you so much for helping us establish what our goals and dreams are. We do want to continue building back this feedback, so we want to know what y'all think about this podcast. Do y'all agree with us? Do y'all feel some different type of way? What do y'all think? We're also looking for suggestions for upcoming episodes, so keep us informed. We're definitely here.
Right, if y'all don't know me, y'all ain't gotta be scared to like slide in my DMs. Don't make it crazy because my wife will bust your ass. But
Lord Jesus, please.
But yeah, you feel a need to discuss something I need to that I've said, or again just want to make that connection. Holla at your boy.
Same here. Please let me know. I appreciate all the feedback. Like I said, shout out to my boy Josh, because he straight up gave me this long paragraph of feedback, and I really hope we at least stayed somewhat on the subject this time like we did, and we will be trying to make more content just like you suggested, which I think is a great idea, and I've been talking about it for a long time.
However, Josh, let me explain something, because in episode 1 we did put the little hieroglyphics in there.
The hieroglyphics.
Yes. The pictures.
I'm sorry, I just called you a bitch.
You did.
But she said hieroglyphic. You know what hieroglyphics are?
Yeah,
Hold up.
pictures.
Yes.
Tell all the story.
We put hieroglyphics up there.
Look. A whole bitch. Like, my feelings are hurt. Because last episode you just said you are a woman. I would never refer to you as a bitch. That's first episode 2.
Only in ignorance do we refer to it.
Oh, so now I'm ignorant.
You just said
You
we
just
put
said hieroglyphics.
fucking glyphics up there.
We put captions in there, Josh, saying that we all suffer from
Yeah,
ADHD.
Josh,
Her mama gonna get you.
I know, I'm
My
sorry.
mama, my aunt, my
They
uncle,
gonna get
everybody.
you.
I'm sorry,
You
y'all.
in trouble?
She know I love her.
It's
Y'all gonna
not
listen,
like
no,
that.
they gonna
It's
listen
not
to the
like
whole
that.
thing and go, did she just say hi?
They
It's
gonna
not
love this
like
part.
that. It's not like
We
that.
all
We
friends.
cool.
We
We
are all
cool.
cool.
But we did put that caption in there, Josh, saying that we do have ADD and we will be jumping from subject to subject. So you just gotta bear with us. We gonna get back on track. We gonna bring it back. But just ride with us to this wave real quick.
Ride
Alright?
with these hieroglyphic waves. But That's it.
She need a thug in her life too, Josh. By the way, he know what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
I have a whole.
Nobody asked you.
In other news, we're gonna go ahead and call this. Why you put your finger up?
CB.
What was that? Well, I'm calling this a day. We're gonna call this a wrap. This your boy, Just Kevin.
This is Courtney Lynette.
This is Unconscious Atmosphere. You.
And this is what they won't say. Love y'all.
Bye.
We love y'all.